Peace and blessings. I'm Minister Mustafa Abdul Haq Abdullah of the Third Church of Jerusalem, House of Prayer, Temple of God. And this is a video response to Beliefs and Facts by mrtrivates. I decided to make a video because of that crazy 500 character limit on YouTube, and it wouldn't allow me to fully express the ideas I have in my head. So I hope you bear with me, because what I want to do is play the video and then speak on parts as they come up. Because indeed, like you said, truth shall set you free. Alright.
Have the right to defend their beliefs as well? Interesting question. You see, there are 4 kinds of information.
Are there just 4? Of course, you're just speaking of 4 types of information for humans, as far as we know and as far as we can understand. We use 4 different methods. There could be more.
There's fact, fiction, theory, and belief. Fact is unquestionably true information backed up by adamant, verifiable claims. For instance, 2 plus 2 equals 4.
I love mathematics. I love mathematics because, mathematics don't lie. Only people doing the math lies. But the thing is, let's look at mathematics, and let's look at 2 plus 2 equals 4. 2 and a 2 is a word. Vocabulary we use to express an idea, concept, the name of an object, or whatever. So 2 plus 2 equals 4 is only 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 plus 4 is only accurate as long as we keep it steady. If I change the word 2 to 3, then I can say 3 plus 3 equals 4, because it's just a word. A word is a concept. Now, if we go deeper and say, well, 2 represents 2 objects. That's 2 and 2. We have 4 of these. Well, if we had 2, if we look at just 1 and say this is 1, 1 is a word to represent oneness, one object, one thing. We use math, whatnot, so that we can build and create things in our world and work. But this one thing, is this really 1? This is really more than 1, isn't it? This is billions of molecules. And then really, is it billions of molecules? This is more space than it is 1. So, that only goes so far. 2 plus 2 is 4 because we say so right now. Just words.
Sugar tastes sweet.
To everyone, or to humans, or to those with taste buds. We're talking about a sensation, a taste, something that our brain, what I want to say, transforms, from our taste buds. We say that it is sweet as compared to that which is sour. That's why you say it's sweet. Once again, we're using words to relay something. So we're relaying the sensation that when we put sugar on our taste buds, it has this taste, which is a word. It has this something. We call it taste, and it's pretty good. For some, it's good. I know that actually there are some people who don't even like sugar. To them, it's nasty. So, that's sweet. What is sweet? It's just a word. And once again, it's only in comparison to something else. We say something sweet, and the opposite of it is sour. But if this is sweet and this is sour, and then we move something over here further to the left of sweet, then this which is sweet may become sour in actuality, because it's sweeter. And we can go down more and more and more, which moves everything else up to being sour. So, words, expressions.
Blood is red.
A word, concept. What is red? Does red really exist? What is a color? Does color really exist?
Alkaline chemicals give up hydrogen to halogen chemicals, and when they bond, they form water and salt.
I'm not going to pull out the science book to deal with that one.
If X yields W when combined with Y, and X is derived from Z, then when Z and Y are present together, W will occur.
I'm not going to take the time to really stop and think about that one. Let's move on.
Fiction is intentionally untrue information variably used to entertain or explain something in an allegorical fashion. For instance, most jokes are fictional, and jokes are entertaining. A rabbi, a priest, and a cowboy walked into a bar. They each ordered a drink. The priest ordered wine because Jesus drank wine. The rabbi ordered wine too because the Jewish people have always enjoyed wine. The cowboy too ordered wine, and the bartender was curious. He said, "Why wine, sir? Don't you usually order whiskey when you come in here?" And the cowboy said, "If a Jesus freak and a heathen Jew can agree on something, it's gotta be good." Allegory is a useful form of fiction as it provides a mildly entertaining way to impart wisdom. See,
Hold on. I'm going to go back to that joke real quick. I forget what you said about the jokes specifically, but the thing is, you use things in a joke that are supposedly true. And what I'm talking about is that you said that Jesus drank wine. Did Jesus drink wine? You're going off of a book, the Bible, of course, because in the Bible it says that wine was drank, but is it necessarily true? So you're using a book, which I think you probably hold as fictional, to validate a joke within the joke. You know what I'm saying? And then you say that Jews have always drank wine. Well, is that true? I don't know. Just want to say that.
consider this story for a second. One day, two boys, Bumbly and Wumbly, were walking through the woods and stumbled upon a cave. "I wonder what's in there," Bumbly asked Wumbly. "I don't know," said Wumbly. "Let's go find out." Just then, a strange old man ran up to the boys and said, "Don't go in there. If you go in there, this bear will eat you." He quickly ran away after saying this. Wumbly said to Bumbly, "If there was a bear in there, wouldn't the cave smell really bad?"
Would it? What if the bear just entered the cave 3 minutes ago? It might not smell bad.
Bumbly said to Wumbly, "I'm scared. I'm not going in." Just in case, Wumbly decided to pick up a large stone and said, "I'm going in. If there is a bear, I'll beat him in the nose with this rock. That'll make him run away." Wumbly again said, "I'm not going in. I'm afraid." Wumbly shrugged and went into the cave. There he found a sizable pile of the clearest diamonds he had ever seen. "That old man must have been hiding these in here," he said to himself. Elated, he pocketed the diamonds and left the cave. As he arrived at the entrance, Bumbly said anxiously, "Well, what did you find?" "Nothing," said Wumbly. And they went home. The old man returned later to find the pile of diamonds gone and the boys nowhere in sight. The moral of the story is, fear can hold you back from the greatest rewards and is not always a good way to control people.
Now the moral of the story is, your friends can lie to you at any time. And also, just because you don't see something does not mean it doesn't exist. For as far as the one boy knows, there was nothing in that cave. There was nothing there, because he didn't see it. So he will forever say, there was nothing there. I saw nothing, so it didn't exist. There was nothing in that cave. Yet the other boy will always know there was something, for he did indeed see it, and he had it. It sort of works sort of like God, just because you say we don't see it. But once again, I've said in a previous video how you know that everything you see around you is not God. Doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. And someone else could have seen God. That's just the truth.
Fiction can be a useful tool to communicate ideas. Now on to the third type of information. Theories are assertions based on facts that are potentially provable or disprovable through the use of the scientific method. The fact that objects fall alludes to the possibility of a force called gravity. The nature of this force can be studied. With enough study, the source of the force can be determined. The fact that humans share 95% or more of their DNA with chimpanzees suggests that humans may share a common ancestor with apes. Through study of genetic mutations and an analysis of the fossil record, the verisimilitude of this theory can be verified. The fact that nothingness is an unstable physical system suggests that the universe may have simply popped into being out of nothingness.
Is that true? Is it a fact that nothingness is that? Or could it be that nothingness is really beyond our comprehension? Once again, we use words to define something. First, we have the word nothingness to define a certain state, a state of non-being. And then we make a rule for that state of non-being. But is it true? Just because we make a rule and because of what we know around us with our limited knowledge and those things that we have access to, we take everything we know or believe we know, come to know, understand, we take from the world around us, from this world, this planet, from this planet. That's how we get everything we get from this planet. And this planet exists in this vast, as far as we know, we believe, universe of many other objects, as far as we know and believe, that we think we can see out there. So everything can be totally opposite on another planet. It could be. We take everything from being in here in this cell. We take all our knowledge from this cell that we're in, this little box we're in. We get everything we know from this and say we know everything else about all that is.
Simply by conflicting properties of nothingness. This is a so far unverified theory, but it can be studied further to determine whether or not it's sound. So, theories may not be true, but there's a very likely chance that they are, because theories are based on fact. Now let's cover what beliefs are. Beliefs are assertions based on assumptions rather than facts. When an assumption cannot be tested, one can either choose to believe the assumption or dismiss it via Occam's razor. I believe that God created the universe is not a verifiable claim because by his nature, God is unobservable.
Says who? Who made a rule that said God, by his nature, is unobservable? Once again, if what we see around us is God, then that would make that untrue. But of course, that doesn't mean that you say that what we see is not God. When I say that, what we see could be God.
This belief cannot be verified. I believe that the government is run by secret societies is not a verifiable claim, because if societies are really secret, how do we even know they exist?
How do we know any secret? Somebody blabbed.
I believe God spoke to me is not a verifiable claim. Because how do you know it was not your own intuition manifesting your thoughts in the form of a voice? And if someone else says this to you,
That how do you know that it wasn't God? You're automatically saying that it's not more so than you're taking a possibility more so that it's not than it is. Yeah, I heard his voice. Well, most likely it's not God. It's just my own thoughts. But they both go hand in hand. There's a possibility that it could have been God, just as much as a possibility that it was just your own thoughts.
why should you believe them if you yourself have not heard the voice of God? What makes them so special that God only talks to them?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, just because it's hard, it would be hard to accept that God would talk to somebody else instead of talking to you, doesn't disprove that there is a God. Maybe God feels that you don't have enough belief that if He talked to you, all you would think is it was just your thoughts. I don't know. This is dealing with truth. Maybe your mind is made differently than another person, so their brain is wired differently, and they can pick up the voice of God, and yours can't. Just how people can pick up different things, have different perceptions of things that other people don't. Autistic people, how they can pick up things and pick up numbers and have numbers going through their head and see the numbers. Sometimes see them with colors and taste and smell numbers, and other people can't. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Fiction becomes mythology when a group of people begin to believe the fiction to be fact. Believers communicate their beliefs as fact, and so doing, delude themselves and others. In all cases where religions are established, there is one character who is speaking for God and no one else is receiving the same messages. Moses was the only Hebrew of his time who spoke with God and for God. The same is true of Abraham.
Maybe the only ones that listened.
Paul was the first person to speak about Jesus and was the only person at the time who seemed to be in contact with him spiritually. Joseph Smith was the only person who ever saw the golden plates upon which were written the Book of Mormon.
And the old man, going back to your story, could originally be the only one that seen those diamonds. Now to him, it just been the one boy, and so there's only two people that ever seen those diamonds possibly.
Muhammad was the only Arab who ever spoke with and for Allah during his time. The claims of these people are unverifiable, and therefore those who believe their words to be true are harboring delusional beliefs.
The absence of seeing it does not mean that it doesn't exist.
To communicate a belief as fact is sheer lunacy. And those who believe that fiction is fact are delusional. It is fine for them to continue to believe this, but it is unnecessary for the public to accept their beliefs as doing so is not common sense. It is...
What is common sense? I've come to find out that I don't really have it, because my senses aren't common to many. Common sense, that means everybody just follows the same thing. Usually because we say it because common sense, because it's in common among most people. Most people believe or think a certain way, so it's common sense. And if you don't think the same way, then it's not common and it can be considered stupid or ridiculous or whatever. But it doesn't make it not true.
acceptable for atheists to express theories that rule out God, for their theories are based on fact. It is not acceptable for theistic believers to express their beliefs as facts. There is nothing wrong with them saying that they believe in their various mythologies, but stating that their mythologies are fact is hypocritical, delusional, and counterproductive. A belief can be upgraded to a theory if it can be shown that the facts exist to back up the belief. A theory can be upgraded to a fact if it can be proven to be true. However, a fact cannot be reverted to fiction. Creation scientists attempt to label fact as fiction, which is why they are so detrimental to society. Let us put an end to creation science once and for all. Protest creation science being taught in public schools. Fight for the truth, for the truth will set us free.
Yes, it shall. I'm just thinking real quick. Fact cannot be made into fiction. The creationist theorists are saying that evolution, which I believe we're talking about, is fictional. But it seems to be, and I'm just going to say something real quick, because it seems like there's still controversy with even those who believe in evolution and finding that missing link and exactly what goes on. So, I don't know. I'm not really going to speak that much on that. So that's it. You know, just trying to stay in truth. I'm not saying what I just said is right. Just trying to stay in truth and just trying to think, right? Trying to offer our ideas and trying to make conversation. Right? God bless. Peace and love.